One of the things I've learned being a parent was that it is quite possible that one of the most important things you will ever do for your children is admit when you're wrong, when they call you on it.
It sucks. It sucks.
It does.
I have to regularly.
Totally sucks. But I have this one story I always share a lot, but I'd
love to hear it if you want to share it.
It was, obviously we had taught our kids in the faith, and one of the fundamental elements of teaching your kids a Christian worldview is the idea that there is such a thing as objective truth and objective morality, and it's not based off of your individual preferences or ability to impose your will. They are true no matter what, because God says they're true. So if you teach your kids that and you teach them moral rules, and then you fall short of those moral rules, what do you do in that moment? And unfortunately, and I get it because I've been there, right? Where a lot of parents are like, this is my house, these are my rules. So I come home from work one day, I'm really stressed out, and I walk in and my two youngest kids, Luke and Allie, are in there and they're doing something in the kitchen. And I don't know what they were cooking, but it looked like a bomb. And I was already stressed. And I have this thing where I get stressed, and when things are out of order or whatnot, it just exacerbates it. And so I come in, I'm like, what are you guys doing? And before they can answer, it's like, clean this up right now. I don't want to hear it. Clean this up right now. Get to your rooms. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this, Go upstairs. Lily, who at the time was, I think around 14, waited a couple minutes. Smart kid. Knocks on my door. Daddy, can I talk to you for a moment? Yeah, honey, go ahead. She comes in. Yeah, what is it? And she goes, Daddy, I don't think you handled that well. Now, every ounce of my being is like, oh, wise sage, please, 14-year-old daughter who is completely dependent on me for her entire existence. Tell me how you would have handled it better. That's what I wanted to say. And I don't know why, but in that moment, because there's been other times where I did not respond well, but I don't know why in that moment, I kind of felt like God was saying, this is going to be a formative moment. It was like, okay, honey, why do you think that? And she goes, the reason why Luke and Allie were in the kitchen is because they got permission from mommy to make something for you. And they were very excited about doing so. And now they're both in their rooms and they're too scared to tell you. And I'm like, I'm such a jerk.
We've all been there.
Oh my God, I'm such a jerk. But it was almost like in that moment, God was also saying, it's not good enough to just say you're sorry. And so I said, so I gathered kind of my composure, the embarrassment of being wrong.
Right, because you have a natural authority over your children, and there's this lie that if you admit that you're wrong, you're somehow...
Yes. And I said, and I remember being very deliberate because I felt led to be deliberate in this way. Like I please understand, I'm giving myself no credit.
Yeah.
I said, Lily, you are right and I am wrong. I said, I'm going to go apologize to them, but I want you to know I am proud of you for bringing this to my attention. Because it was almost like God was like pushing me in that moment, saying this is formative because you have taught her that right and wrong is objective. And if you now get mad at her for applying the very standard that you've taught her to apply, she will start to believe that the rules are arbitrary based off of who's in power.
Yes.
And what happens when you're not in power? What happens when it's the college professor? What happens when it's the friend group? What happens when it's the singer? What happens when it's the boss? You will have not given her a framework based on me and my truth. What you will have given her is you will have given her a framework that says, do what authority tells you to do.
Yeah.
Man-made authority. And I've since become convinced that, going back to the story that you were telling, when you can tell somebody, oh, that's a good point, and when you can acknowledge it, don't look at it as a sign of weakness. Look at it as a sign of reinforcing to the other person that when they make a good argument, when they make a sound argument, when they use scripture to justify it, you respect that. And you'll go back and research it. And if they're right, if they're wrong, come back and say, hey, I disagree. Or if you're just not sure, maybe, what about this? Because what it does is it reinforces that, yes, you and I both live in a world where we respect biblical truth. That's a world where you can peacefully disagree. That's a world where you can civilly discuss. That's a world where both of you can become better from the exchange. That's a world where both of you are better off regardless of how the conversation, who was right and who was wrong.
Yeah.
Right? That's the sort of world you want to live in. That's the sort of world you want to foster. And sometimes the acknowledgement that you were wrong at a particular moment not only allows for you to become wiser in the process, but for you to encourage the sort of discourse, behavior, and commitment to truth that allows for more of that to be able to take place. Mm-hmm. And so I've tried to make myself more disciplined in recognizing those moments for what they are, and realizing that sometimes the admission of incorrect data or being wrong is actually an incredible opportunity, as long as you don't let your pride get in the way.
That's such a helpful story. Thank you. I want to tell you about a course that I have created for men to overcome pornography. It is called strive21.com/Matt. You go there right now, or if you text STRIVE to 66866, we'll send you the link. It's 100% free, and it's a course I've created to help men, to give them the tools to overcome pornography. Usually men know that porn is wrong. They don't need me or you to convince them that it's wrong. What they need is a battle plan to get out. And so I've distilled all that I've learned over the last 15 or so years as I've been talking and writing on this topic into this one course. Think of it as if you and I could have a coffee over the next 21 days and I would kind of guide you along this journey. That's basically what this is. It's incredibly well produced. We had a whole camera crew come and film this. And I think it'll be a real help to you. And it's also not an isolated course that you go through on your own, because literally tens of thousands of men have now gone through this course. And as you go through the different videos, there's comments from men all around the world encouraging each other, offering to be each other's accountability partners and things like that. Strive21, that's strive21.com/Matt, or as I say, text STRIVE to 66866 to get started today. You won't regret it.